In this video, I'm going to show you a little bit of the color mixing and the techniques and some of the brushes I like to use. And be sure and watch the whole entire time lapse so that you can get the real feel of this painting. So see you soon. Okay, I'm going to try this to show you this trick here. I've got an angle brush. I've got two angle brushes actually, two different sizes. And we're going to just kind of draw this tree in, this ocean tree. And I'm just kind of scoop up that paint like that. And it's okay if I touch that other color. Although I'm going to try to stay mostly in the white and get that paint loaded up on the edge. See how I drag it through? So I got a bead on there. So, okay, I'm not sure how high I want to go with this tree yet, but I'm going to just kind of imagine it's going to come up here somewhere. It's safest, this is all dry, so it's safest to start with the white, because that way you can erase it with a paper towel and some oil if you don't like the shape that you're getting. So I like to start at the top because the angle brush has that little tip to it. And then you just pull down that color. Now this is a wind-blown tree, so I want to figure out where I'm going to go with it. It kind of bends. They bend because of the way the wind blows them. I think I like, that could be a branch to start with. Now you probably can't see the landing, but it starts about in here, and I'm going to really just very carefully think about where do I want this tree. And that was actually good. I had a little brown on there because now I can see the tree better. Just pull that paint right through it. Get it onto this one side of your brush. And just start shaping. It might be scary, but try this on just a blank canvas at first. And that way you can just practice. See, now I'm going to get like turn the brush like this so you get a broader stroke as you come down. And I kind of like the way my photograph, I have a photograph of a tree. It's on the coast. So the light is coming from that direction. So it's going to be lighter on this side. Do that. So I've got burnt umber, ivory black, and ultramarine blue. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that ultramarine blue in a minute. I really like the way this tree bends. So it's going to get thicker at the bottom. Just keep shaping it. Pull it down, around. And I like to think about where it's going. Where does that tree, where is it shaped? Just kind of shapes. This is the photograph I've got, and there's all kinds of trees here, but I've got one up here that's closer that I'm using to really get that shape. See that? There's the tree up close. It's like got two trees here, I think. And then this is growing off of there, and that curves up and around, and then these branches, which is why I love this angle brush, because you can start out here on these branches like this and just kind of decide where are they going. And I don't want them to cover up my background, but you're probably working from a flat or a flat background or whatever background you have. Just watch where you're putting the branches. So I'm just going to go for it here. course, that branch is going to get longer, but I haven't decided yet where I'm going to go. Just wanted to show you a few tips here on how I do my trees with these angle brushes. See, they draw a nice straight line if you just drag it down. See how I've got the paint loaded on the tip and on the edge of the brush, so I really want to get a nice bend in there. I might want to make the tree come out that way, I think. I just like to take my time. I love that you're here, and I will be creating more I will be creating more tutorials. Excuse me. Okay, now this is going to kind of disappear off the video. I think I've got it aimed towards up here in this area. So I'm going to try to stay in there for you. And then I'm going to get it back and look at it. Pause the video so that I can see where my tree is going. And then we'll do some leaves and things. I'm going to give it a little back glow here. Now you'll see in the time lapse that I will add some grasses down here, and I will add some colors from the sunset that I've got in this particular painting that will reflect on the tree. So whatever sky colors you have. This is more of a foggy day here, but in this painting, as you can kind of see up here, there is some sunset colors, and you'll see in the time lapse, if you go back and watch the time lapse of the whole entire painting. But I wanted to show you a little bit on the tree, just for free. But if you'd like to support my channel, go ahead and go to my website, check out what I've got there, or you can donate on my PayPal for all these wonderful videos that I'm giving you just as tips and tricks. But I will have some videos that are full length that will be available later as I produce them. So I hope you enjoy them, and let me know how you like what I'm doing for you, how much benefit you're getting out of it, and if there's any questions, be sure and ask me. Okay, now I like how there's a branch kind of reaching this direction, and I'll add more and more. So you start at the tip and then you drag it back and decide where you want to connect it to the trunk, like that. And then I'll have more coming out that way, but I kind of need to step back and look at it before I really get busy with this, as you'll see in the time lapse. Okay, I wanted to show you real quick on how, now there's a color called Payne's Gray, but I'm going to take the ultramarine blue and the black. Here's another tip for you. I'm going to mix them together. This will give me kind of a Payne's Gray, so that it'll give that kind of foggy effect. Just scrape and smash, scrape and smash, scrape and smash. Now, I really love the oils because they stay wet. That's a beautiful thing about them. Okay, now you can wipe your palette knife off or just kind of carefully scoop some up. Bring it down here, and you can start to see that blue kind of come through. The more blue you've got in there, the more blue you're going to see in the, and it creates a nice soft gray rather than a dull gray. I think I might add a little more blue to that, because I like it a little more on the blue side, just to give it more interesting foggy color. So I'm going to set that aside for a second. Get back into my knife here, and I'm going to start. This is when the tree will start to pop forward. You kind of just pull it across like this, and you get some nice little ribs, depending on the type of tree, but this is one of those, I think it's a type of pine that grows on the coast. And it just gets blown around, and as it grows, they just kind of get, the little needles get pushed around. And the little branches, you know, they sort of, you can see how the wind blows them and pushes them back, and then they just start to grow that way. I love that. But we'll get to the needles in a second. I want to, real quick, get some color up in here. And while your other color is wet, it's going to blend in. Just keep pulling it up. Try to stay right on the inside of that color we added with the white and the burnt umber. And then you can, when you go up the narrow part of your branches, you can kind of aim that point of the brush up into there and into their branch like that. And you just keep working it, and you've got kind of a black back glow you can see there. Now this is just one part of the tree. Just wanted to give you a little bit of tips on how to, I think this branch is getting a little thick over here, but that's okay. You just have to keep working your tree until you have a thinner, narrower at the top, and it gets thicker at the bottom. And you just keep standing up and looking at it to be sure that you've got that proportion correct. Now you can start to see the formation of this wind-blown tree. And I'll get more meticulous as you see in the time lapse. And if you want more longer videos, let me know. I've got some coming up that I'm planning out. Tell me what you want to learn. If you want to learn more about trees, if you want to learn more about fir, let me know. I think I'm going to get into this burnt umber just a smidge, just to show you how I can keep adding that shadow, because this is a sunset. It's going to have really a lot of, see how it just kind of intermingles with the Payne's gray, well, the Payne's gray that I mixed with the black and the ultramarine blue. You can buy Payne's gray and it gives you that color, which I'll list in the show notes. But be sure and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of how I've taught you to do this. Now we'll get back and look at this, and then I'll come back and show you a little bit of the needles and how I get the rest of the branches in. But I wanted to start this at least. And go back to the gray. Because in this particular painting, I wanted to see where, because sometimes if I put my subjects in, you can see where you're going with the rest of the painting. It sort of helps you design it to bring the viewer in. See, I'll just get darker as I go down here, and I'll add some more burnt umber. maybe a little more Payne's gray. Just keep chiseling away at it. Just add all your little details that you want to see in there. Just tap at it. And I haven't used that bigger angle brush because I feel like I don't really need to at this point. If I had a little more broader area I wanted to work with, then I'd use the bigger one. But I like this. Seeing that this branch is going to shadow down in here a little bit. So you want to see the brush kind of makes its own marks. That's what's cool. Just starts to do its own thing. There goes a rooster. He's crowing out there. I really find this relaxing, and I hope you do too. Okay, there's a start, and we'll come back when I've got the tree a little bit further along, and I'll show you how to put more branches in. And so just keep making branches however you want to practice, and then we'll get to the needles and the little twiggies. Okay, I'm back. And I've been tinkering around with the tree, as you can see. I hope you've been tinkering around with yours. If not, just watch. And I would recommend watching the full time lapse of the whole painting to watch how everything comes together first before you start painting. And then, just keep pausing it. So I'm going to start with this Naples yellow. It's got a little green mixed on it on accident, but that's okay because that's what I want anyway. So I'm going to start at the tips up here and just start kind of dabbing on that color. Now you can use whatever brush is comfortable. I've also got this little round Filbert Rake that can make even more delicate little needles type things. But if you want to go to the smaller Filbert Rake, that's fine too. Whatever you're comfortable with. So I'm just gonna, I think I'll stick with this one for now. Maybe I'll add a little orange in there as I go, maybe a little oxide. This is orange oxide here, this is cat orange, and this is Naples yellow, and I've got burnt umber and some phthalo green to make some foresty green, but I want to kind of get the highlights and then a little brown in there to start with, and you can also make little like stick branches type things. You can get quite a bit done with this Filbert Rake. If you really just touch the tip of the brush, just kind of dab it, touch that tip. If you want to, you can go back to your little angle brush or a liner, whatever you're comfortable with. There's no rules on this. Just whatever gives you the right effect that you want. That's why you should practice. And so yeah, everybody's got a different touch. So I'm kind of creating little sticks, and they're coming off this main branch. Just kind of keep loading the brush and just tap it. Don't want to push too hard because you'll end up with a mucky mess that loses all your sky. Now I'm going to take this palette knife and just kind of smear that in, grab some of that burnt umber, and that will make kind of a foresty green once I add this Naples yellow to it. Or you can use yellow ochre if you don't have Naples yellow, and you can add a little orange to that, or just leave it like that. That down. I think I'm going to stick with this light color first for a few little passes before I show you. Now it's got some of that oxide on there, and that's fine. We'll just pick up a little more of the light. And later on, you'll see me in the time lapse. I will add more color because, of course, like I say, this tree is lit up by the sunset. And for now, I'm just going to start adding some of this orange in here. Just cross it over the branches, the main branches, cross some of your, and you'll watch how these kind of have little special shapes to them. They're like wind-blown pine type trees. probably look up what kind of tree this is. But I hear that little woodpecker out there in my yard. I just love living around the woods and nature. It's like so inspiring. I love watching Miss Potter with Renee Zellweger. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but oh my gosh, I love it. But she did an amazing thing with her books. She is incredible to me, and I love that movie. Very well done. There's a documentary on it. Anyway, she got a lot of her inspiration by watching nature when she was a little girl, and that's what happened with me too. And it's never too late. You can just get out there and enjoy it. And get out there in God's creation. It's pretty special. I love going all over in the mountains and in the woods and things. You'll find all kinds of sounds and beautiful things to look at. Now just keep on following along. You notice I'm kind of going flat because that's the way this tree grows, and that's the thing. You just observe how things grow. Different trees will grow different ways, and that's how I become. That's how these paintings become what they are. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that orange. I like to go light to dark because then I don't end up trying to stick light on dark and it just smashes into that wet color when you're doing wet on wet. But once it dries, you can highlight things again, and that's what I'll be doing later on. But I wanted to show you some of these little areas on the painting first. Now soon I'm going to go to the green, but I want to get that light on there first, and I don't want to dirty my brush. I don't have to clean it between because we're kind of on a time slot here. I hope I have my microphone on. Yes, yay, I have my microphone on. I've done that before, oh my goodness. Okay, let's kind of come up here. I'll be bringing in little twigs on top of these colors, and of course I started the twigs underneath. I really am going to be filling up this tree quite a bit, but not too much. See, I just put the main branches in and kind of keep going over the top before I start adding all the little tiny twigs that you saw in that photograph I showed you. Now when I create these full-on videos of these studies, of course I will provide more reference material. I'm pretty excited about it because I really love it when I get to help people and hear their reactions. Now you'll know why I'm putting all this light in here in a minute. Because when I bring in those greens, see, and then I'm going across that wet paint, which is fine because it creates more sticks and branches. Now I have to watch myself so that I kind of know where. I don't want to overlap too much. I don't want to lose my sky too much, so I'm kind of being careful here. Oop, got a big glob of orange. I'll just work that in. No big deal. That's my little grandson says, no big deal. So cute. That way he doesn't feel like he's in big trouble. No big deal, we'll just clean it up. Okay. I hope you're learning a lot here, even in this first part. And like I say, watch that time lapse so that you can watch the whole process and slow it down if you want. I think you can slow those down. I'm not the techie in my business. But you can pause them, I know that. So I sure appreciate you. please be sure and comment, subscribe and like and all that fun stuff. And I'm so grateful that you're following my videos. Share them with people that you think might learn some stuff or like artwork. Go ahead and check out my website. It's amazing. My son put that together for me. He's just an amazing website builder. So proud of him. Can't even say how proud. Now we've got some dead stuff under here, so I'm building that up. I want to build up a little more. There's dead twigs and branches. Now I'll just work on this top part just to get you a good feel of the whole entire painting. The whole tree, I mean. So there's a lot of shade underneath these globs of branches and sticks and twigs. And it's a good time now to use this really cool rake to kind of paint. Just do the same thing like with the angle brush. Just kind of drag it in, drag it around. Let it create its own little twigs that are hanging down underneath these. Or you can use a liner brush like I say, or whatever is comfortable. If you really lightly touch, you don't want to push too hard like I say. You can also drag down this way too if that works better for you. Whatever's comfortable. And practice, practice, practice. Don't beat yourself up if you mess up. Just practice. Just kind of getting that rough. And also I will be bringing a lot of more different colors. This is just some techniques of how I usually build these things up. And this is just a quick study. There's all these little sticks that are coming off the tree because it's so blown by the wind. Okay, we'll do a few more up there. My arm gets tired doing this because I have to stay out of the way of the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, this is fun. Fly buzzing around in here. He's kind of making me nuts. Okay, just kind of tap, tap. See, I'm just barely touching that tip. And practice on your palette if you need to. Like, go in here and just kind of make little marks to practice if you don't feel confident. I'm going to come down to burnt umber. And I'm going to retouch some of these parts of these branches, just like in and out, because not all of the branch will show. And just keep building up those colors into the light. When I get too much black, be careful of that black. Just touch, touch, touch. Like I say, come over here and practice before you touch it. Okay, now it's starting to get bushy in just a couple of spots, and I can just kind of push down a little bit. Push, 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 like there's just section of tree. Helps also to look at the finished painting, so you can kind of see where you're going with it. I don't want to get too much here. Okay, gonna wipe off my brush. Now I'm gonna go to the green. Okay. Now it'll start changing. Just touch, touch, touch. Practice on your palette if you need to. Just very lightly, right underneath all those colors. Some thick, some thin. Touch it and get up and look at it at different angles. Don't just sit like I'm sitting right now, but I'm gonna be getting up. And there's some little, like, I'm using my pinky to balance. You can also use a piece of dowel. I don't have it out in front of me, but I use it in some of my other videos. I balance it on the top of the canvas and then it rests on the bottom of the easel, so it keeps my hand away from the painting. Now I'm just kind of going in here delicately. Now I can go to this little one if I want to, like on these really skinny edge areas, if I really want to get detail like this, which I like to get, is the detail. Now this tree is going to take me a while to complete. That's why I'm doing just a little parts of it for you. And you can do it. You just hang in there. You're gonna make some mistakes sometimes, but that's okay. Oil paint is forgiving. Don't ever wipe it off unless it's, you know, just white on a dry surface. You can always paint over the top of it, or just start over if you're that frustrated with it. And believe me, I've had my moments of being frustrated with my paintings, and it just took me a while to I just wouldn't give up. That's how I am. Okay, now you can sort of see the effect that it's going to start having. Now I've gone back to this big brush. Now the little one might work better for you, but if you've practiced enough, you could probably use the big one at this point as you work your way down into the tree. Now I'll be putting on some cadmium yellow light on the tips. I'll show you with the Naples yellow so you can kind of see what I mean. I'll come in with some cadmium yellow light. Actually, I could probably get some out so you could see what I mean. But I'll put we could put the Naples yellow on first. Keep wiping off your brush because it's going to pick up that, oops, drop the brush. It's going to pick up that green. So now you can highlight, or you can wait for it to dry. Whatever you're comfortable with. You just keep dabbing it, dabbing it, dabbing it. And don't push too hard. You can go one color at a time. You don't have to do it like this. I'll get a smidge of this, of my terminology. Smidge of this yellow so that you can just get a little sample of what I mean. How I'm going to highlight. Now I just scoop that paint up onto the tips and I just tap it on top of that Naples yellow. Might have to wipe the brush off in between, but you just tap it on the lighter parts. And then it starts to create your tree, and you just keep doing this all the way down, all the way around, and just keep creating your tree. Now run this video back and watch how I do it again and again until you get it. And I'll be making more. Just let me know what you want, what you like, and I'll see you next time.